Today we're going to do some gardening. Spring has crept up on me quickly this year, and it's amazing how much havoc the winter months can wreak on your garden. Ours is looking pretty shabby from last year's leftover plants. It's in some dire need of some TLC and tidying. Seeing the first hyacinth popping up tells me that it's time to get the garden ready. I feel a good place to start is giving myself something pretty to look at, and I'm finally getting to use these tools which were a Christmas present. They're so beautiful. I got some lovely terracotta pots on sale and some primroses to plant into them. And then we will try to propagate some roses from this bouquet. I'm just going to start by filling up the pots with soil. And then I'll start breaking up all of the tough lumps and bumps to make it a bit smoother to plant into, and then we'll just dig a little well in to make space for the plant. There's a few dead heads on here, so I'm just taking those off to make room for any new growth. And then I'm just going to fill around the sides with some more soil and press it down to make it nice and tight. I'll just keep doing that until I'm satisfied that it's in there properly. And then rinse and repeat for the next one. I saw a video online about propagating roses from a bouquet, and I decided to give it a go. I've really wanted some beautiful roses in my garden that I can cut for my own bouquets, but we had a pretty unsuccessful go at that last year. So I'm just filling up these pots with some soil, and then we're going to cut all of the flower heads off and reduce the stems to just a few nodules. The nodules are where the little bumps for new stems can grow out of, and then we'll cut off most of the leaves, leaving only a few. I think this is done to help encourage root growth, but we'll soon find out. I think the aim is to just reduce it to as little as possible so that it's still alive, but it's not wasting any energy on any bits that it won't need. In the video it said that you can keep checking every few weeks and just very gently pulling on the stems and seeing if you feel any resistance. As you can see, it's quite loose at the moment, but when you start to feel a bit of resistance, that's how you know that they've started to root. I've done a few here because I assume that not all of them are going to make it. And then I'm just going to put them in a tray, and I will water from inside the tray from the bottom to encourage them to root down. And I hope that they're going to flower for me. Symbolically, spring is about new beginnings, clearance and clarity. So to welcome spring, I'm going to also reorganise and clear out a section of my wardrobe. I do struggle with CFS, so I have to be quite strategic about how much energy I use. And gone are the days when I would spring clean and reorganise my entire house in a weekend. And I'm going to start by just organising these into piles. I've done it into long dresses, tops, skirts, shorter dresses and vests. I've then ordered each of those sections by sleeve size, so largest at the back and thinnest at the front. I found that this makes things much easier for me to see in the wardrobe. Doing this did show me how many dresses I have. I'm not sure I need so many, but never mind. I'd say 90% of my clothes are thrifted, which does make me feel slightly less guilty about it. This system works for me because automatically I now know where to put things, based on the garment length and the sleeve size. Going for functionality over aesthetic makes it much easier to maintain the system, needing to reorganise much less often. I'm now organising my tops. They're quite similar in sleeve length except one or two, so I'll just organise them as best as I can. These are the items I think I can either sell or donate, as I'm not sure about needing them anymore. I like to just put them away in storage to see if I miss them or still want to get rid of them in a bit of time. I can be a bit impulsive in getting rid of things, only to regret it later on. It's hydration, snack and rest time, which is the most important part of tidying and organising for sure. Today I wanted to have some tea cake and a read in the garden, but it's a bit chilly and gloomy. So instead I've decided to get myself a little bit dressed up and have a little spring tea party for one indoors. I've been really getting into doing minimal makeup. It helps me feel a little bit more confident and motivated to do things, as I feel a bit fresher and put together. However, because I'm only staying inside, I'm doing some very lazy makeup with little care on proper blending. Spring is quite a well-fitted word to this season, because this year I feel quite suddenly energised to make changes to my home and myself. Everything feels like it urgently requires action, change and refreshment. And what makes this interesting is that nature usually mirrors how I feel. It's almost if overnight the bees are busy working in the garden, bulbs are springing up, and greenery starts to blanket my once desolate looking borders in the garden. The greenery I was dying to see all of winter feels like it has rushed to appear all at once to make me smile. With the promise of warmer days, beautiful blooms and a new season full of sensory delights. Fresh cut grass, a warm breeze dancing on my skin, and the sweet hot sunshine. It truly marks the end of the colder months, and I really enjoy how motivated and energised I feel at this time. It's tea time. We're going to read the perfect book, A Spring Story by Jill Barklem. I'm going to make some English tea and we're going to have a homemade banana muffin. I love creating aesthetic moments for myself. I've been really learning to enjoy having the house to myself and creating quality time. The illustrations in these books are so sweet. My grandma bought me this book collection when I was younger, and I still like to read them now and again. To me, there is no more perfect way to get into the mood of a new season than by reading a book that is very springtime themed or watching a movie. And I love reading these books because I remember that when I was younger, and I would wish that I could be a little tiny mouse living in a tree stump. What is your favourite way to celebrate spring? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear. And I'm always open to learning new ideas and ways to celebrate the changing of the seasons. Thanks for joining me today and happy spring. I hope to see you again soon.